Kanpai! I forgot to actually. There we go. Ah.
We're professionals.
And eventually, I'll actually drink from it.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. Welcome to Kanpai Cast episode 44, where we will be talking about shows that may have gotten a second season that didn't deserve it, and some shows that didn't get a second season that really could have used it. So, but before we get into that, let me just welcome my friends, Xeno-in-Laws. Hello, Xeno-in-Law.
Hi, Xeno-in-Laws.
Swear eventually I'll get. There we go. How are you both, gentlemen? How are you gentlemen both doing?
We're professionals.
We're good.
Professionals.
Good. Here to talk about anime with you fine gentlemen again this week. It's going to be fun. I kind of like the idea of this topic this week because it's going to be cool. There are some shows I really wanted to have a second season, and I know some shows which you're going to talk about which really did not deserve a second, or they were given a second season. And this one of my main things is that they didn't know what to do with it, or it was planned and they just kind of did nothing.
Yeah.
There's no point wasting all that money when it could have gone to someone who's going to do something with it. But the first season was popular, so money gets thrown at it. It's like, you can do anything good with this? No.
I'm very angry at Xeno for showing me a series that didn't get a second season, and now I have to live with that. I didn't have to live with that before, but now I have to live with that. Anyway, housekeeping.
Yeah.
Housekeeping. Just to remind everyone, we have timestamps and chapters allowing people to navigate to the sections of the show they're interested in watching. And it's not on here, but we're also looking to upgrade. I think, did we mention it last week? We're looking to upgrade Laws with the same sort of recording technology that we got Xeno going on with now. So
Yes.
So no more dropping his audio.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But the big question is, what are we going to do in terms of guests and things? We'll work that one out.
Yeah.
But weirdly enough, we've now threatened Craig with the immortal death, and it started behaving.
He seems to be working right now. It's weird.
It's freaking weird as hell. So yeah.
Anyway, so I think that's it for that section. Shall we move into the anime news that I've gathered for you guys?
Yep. News.
Right. So Japan is increasingly worried about cyberbullying, and they've stepped up punishments even further. They recently passed legislation raising the fine from 10,000 yen, or about $75, and 30 days, up to 30 days detention, to 300,000 yen, which is about 2,200 US, and up to a year in prison. So apparently in 2019 there was a relatively famous actor and wrestler, I think it was, who was quite bullied online and ended up, not alive anymore. So I think they've been taking it really seriously over there, which, honestly might be a good thing, because it has become quite a problem online. In happier news, this one's kind of just for me. Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise, which released in 2020 for the Switch, now has an official PC port available on Steam. I actually got it yesterday, but I have not played it yet. I might be doing that on my stream Monday. We'll see. Not a shameless plug at all. Studio Orange. Yeah. Actually, it is. Studio Orange, who have contributed to anime like Beastars, Infinite Stratos, Dorohedoro, Godzilla Singular Point, and more, announced they are developing a new Trigun series called Stampede. The only things we know for sure is that it, too, will be based on the manga, and is set to release in 2023. That's really it. They've released, a single promotional image.
So, I don't know how much you guys are aware of the disconnect between Trigun, the manga, and the anime, but there is actually quite a lot of differences.
Really?
So halfway through production of Trigun, I don't know if it was just a English translated thing, or whether or not it was like this in Japan, but there was Trigun Maximum, and basically they got halfway through the series and it just takes a completely different turn.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm quite interested in this, and there's some very nice names in this list of so I can imagine there'd be some CG in this, but considering they did Beastars, like
they were also involved in the other Badlands Rumble, the other Trigun movie.
Yeah, so, and considering, again, they did Godzilla Singular Point, their 2D animation is on point as well, so.
Well, and Dorohedoro looked so good that I didn't even know it was 3D at first, so, yeah.
I'm not quite sure how you missed that one.
Well, partly being blind, but also it's just so good. It's just so well done. And finally, speaking of CG, Astro Boy is getting a reboot in full 3D CG, set to run for 52 half-hour episodes. It will be a joint venture with animators in both Japan and France, and that's about all we know about that.
Wow.
We know how well the French and the Japanese, when they get together and animate something, it turns out really well most of the time.
I mean, I was kind of expecting you to say this is going to be done with Netflix and will only be 6 episodes. That's the current trend with Netflix.
Yeah, well. It's Astro Boy, so I think Japan wants to do it right, even if it is CG. That's it for the news, though.
Right. Okay, so let's get into the main bulk of the topic. We have, did it deserve a second season? What is this? This is your, okay. Sorry, I was like, this is, I don't recognize this at all. This looks,
that's
too provocative.
No, she's wearing a full shirt there.
Okay, fine.
I promise.
Right, so, I thought we would take this in the structure of what shows got a second season that didn't deserve one, what shows got a second season, that we feel didn't deserve one, what shows got a second season that spoiled the show, and then what shows do we feel had should have had a second season that will never see the light of day?
Damn it.
And then that turns up and makes me feel sad. So, okay. So, shows that have gotten a second season that didn't deserve it. I have a take on this, and I'm gonna start this with Classroom of the Elite. So, recently, this was announced that it was not only getting a second season, but a third season as well.
Yep.
This was at the same time as Rent-A-Girlfriend Season 2 being announced. The Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2 getting announced. There was a bunch of stuff getting announced that was getting second season. And yeah, Classroom of the Elite. I cannot get on with this show. This show is so goddamn contrived. The plot synopsis is effectively Japan has created this high school that is supposed to educate the top 1% of Japanese society. So anything you learn from this high school, you will become the top 1% of Japanese society. You'll become the Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and
Jeff Bezos.
Thank you. I genuinely blanked his name. Of Japanese society. And it is the most contrived bullshit I have ever had the misfortune of watching.
I mean...
So... Go on, Nasuth.
There are bits of it that are interesting, but it's not enough. There are not enough of them. There's like 2 or 3 little sprinkles of delight inside this pile of trash, and I don't want to go digging through there just to get those few little sprinkles. They're probably contaminated.
Yep.
Right, so I can understand that this is supposed to be a high school these people are working at and or going to, and it will eventually lead to them being important people in the Japanese economy or industries.
They don't really explain what they're aiming for.
Right, but how is it different from just a regular high school in the day-to-day of each episode? What's different? They're going to school and...
So it starts out with, like, they have these...
guns? I don't know. What?
No.
I wish.
It starts out that they have, like, this point system, which is basically money. and the test is like, oh, don't spend all your money all at once. So a lot of them spend their money like right away, and then they lose their ranking. Their ranking goes down, and because their ranking goes down, they don't get any credits the next month, and so they have to like beg other people to get stuff, and that thing, that puts them on a bad foot. And then like later in the series, they end up on an island, and you get into sort of a
Well, actually, let's come back to that.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So, not only what Nasuth said with this whole point system, this point system is not explained.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's really badly explained, and they keep adding rules to it as they go. It feels like.
Yes, they really fucking do. So, like,
yeah.
So they basically say, each month you'll get paid, right? So you'll get your allowance in order to continue studying, buying food, so on and so forth, because it's an entirely on-campus school setting.
Right.
And so they say this, but they don't say that the amount you're gonna get is entirely dependent on the whole class's performance. So if you do amazingly well, right, but your peers do shockingly shit because, I don't know, maybe they're horribly ill and they can't, or they have to skip the test, right? It's just like a dumpster fire of a system, right? It doesn't promote the top 1% at all. It actually holds people back. Right?
I think maybe the idea is, yeah. This is me like writing the show for them, but I think the idea is supposed to be something like they need to learn to work with their peers and not just look out for themselves, but like that also feels like it goes against the idea of being the 1% and outdoing everyone else. So
yeah,
what the fuck?
There's another side to it where you have like so these students had to go through like some really nasty exams, like really, really hard exams, in order to get into the school, right? But there are students here that are effectively dumb as bricks. How the fuck did they get into school to begin with?
I think like, you and I said the other characters only, or no, the main character only looks smart because the other characters are so stupid.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Again, we have the whole principle of the fact that the main character is like, so at one point in time, there's this conflict on the screen right now. The main character is preventing this guy from picking on this girl, and he's pretty damn fit, and like he's obviously lying about his situation. But
sorry. We have in this situation there is girl being bullied, bully,
yeah,
and protagonist. Protagonist is preventing bully from bullying girl.
Yes. And he's doing it with ease. He's doing it with like, oh no, I was, I just go jogging every day. It's like, you are built like a brick shithouse. There is no way in hell you are built like this based on just jogging. There's no way on earth you could fight like a black belt in karate just because you've been fucking jogging all day. Like every day,
perhaps maybe a secret that gets revealed later that he's actually.
And that's the best thing. Everyone's got a fucking secret. Like, oh my god. So everyone, every single character you are seeing on the screen has some weird, quirky secret about them. Because we can't have normal individuals in shows anymore. We can't have down-to-earth people. They all have to be fucked up in the head somehow.
Right.
Oh.
Art reflects society, and
clearly,
yeah,
and yeah. So it's they're constantly changing the rules as the show's going on, as the game is going on, if you will. And it's like, how on earth can you expect to succeed or perform well in life if this is the case?
It's the same reason I didn't like Tomodachi Game, which apparently everyone else seems to love out there. So that's probably going to get a second season too. I don't know. People love this kind of thing for some reason. It's so stupid.
I don't get it. So I want to explain the last objective of this season.
So is this season 1 or season 2?
Season 1. Season 2 has not come out
right?
yet. It's about to come out.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, and it's got a season 3 as well, right? So now, right? So we're gonna whack the spoilers. I recommend people don't watch this because I am gonna spoil the end of this season, but just don't watch it. Just listen to the spoilers because it's fucking shit, right? I don't get how people enjoy this. So spoilers on.
Can I have spoilers on? And can I have a not worth it stamp? Where is it? Pass. Can I have a pass stamp?
Yeah, just hit the pass.
There we go. Pass.
Oh, we still gotta hook that up with a sound. I gotta find a sound.
We'll find sounds later. Right, but the whole point is, right, their last campaign, scenario, test, exam, the last exam of Season 1 is Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies.
Right? Yeah. So if you have read Lord of the Flies, you know where this is going. But basically, the 4 classes...
All kill the fat kid. Sorry, what?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much,
drink his
right?
blood. Yeah.
So, what's it called? The 4 classes are basically put on an island to survive by themselves for a week. It's kind of King of the... Yeah, a week.
A week? Okay.
Is it I think it's just 1 week, isn't it?
I don't remember, honestly.
I'm pretty sure it's 1 week. Well, yeah, I don't blame you. But they have to survive for a week, and it's
either a week or a month. I'm not sure.
They have to, like, King of the Hill this shit, right? No, that's a bad term. So they have to capture and hold a base, right? For each day they hold the base, they earn points.
But they have to renew it every day, too.
They have to renew it every day, and they have a captain. The captain's the only one that can claim the base, right?
Right.
And different areas are worth different points, but they don't know which areas are worth the most points.
Yeah, they don't know which areas are worth what points, right?
Yeah.
So, why fucking bother with that? Because there's no way to fucking know! That's the dumbest fucking rule ever!
Right? Can't really see it, but I'm shrugging so hard right now.
Say again? Wait, I'm confused. You lost me last bit there.
So what is the point in having different locations worth different points if there is no way to know beforehand what the values of each locations are?
Well,
I assume the safer locations are worth less and the more dangerous locations are worth more. But
how do you justify that? Could it be the fact that the ones with better resources are worth more?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, that could be it too. Mm-hmm.
Is it the ones that are or just arbitrary?
Is it maybe a learning lesson allegory where they have to assess like these things for themselves so that in the real world they'll be able to think outside the box in the business world to become the 1%?
But the big thing is, you're supposed to have
more than the show.
You're thinking more than the show because, seriously, in those situations, you have an informed decision to make, right?
Yeah.
You don't randomly just decide to, obviously we're going to make our crisps out of this brand of potato. Why? Just randomly picked it.
Are they allowed to kill each other?
No.
How do they know they're not allowed to kill each other?
I think there's like a disqualification side to it.
Is it ever stated?
I think it is. I'm not entirely sure.
How do they capture from each other apart from beating each other to a bloody pulp?
I don't think they do capture from each other.
They can. They
can, but they never do.
They also have to allow you in to look at their place as long as you're not the captain.
Yeah, and it's crazy crap like this. And the big thing is, at the very end, if you can guess all the captains, right, of all the other teams, they lose points. Right? So Team A, if you can guess who Team A's captain is, they will lose 50 points. But it's not just one class that's doing this, it's 3 classes doing this. So if all 3 classes work this out, they lose 150 points. Right? Now here's the big thing. This is the big rule that apparently everyone just fucking forgot. You can change who the
captain is?
Who the captain is for any justifiable reason.
Yep.
Right? Any We don't want them at any point, right? So guess what our winning team does?
They change the captain after everyone guesses what the captain is so that people don't lose points?
No, at the last second, right? Before
the event ends.
Before the event ends, before they submit the who they think each captain is, right? The winning team changes their fucking captain.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the reason is, though.
Oh, because the other girl's ill. I'm sorry. This is like,
that was it. Yeah. Yeah.
This is like the biggest fucking, like, middle finger to anyone. Oh, also, if you guess the enemy team captain, but you get it wrong, you lose points. Right? Yeah. So, and like, it's just like, oh my god,
see,
how
when
do
you
you know?
guessing captains, I was thinking about some cool strategy where, like, maybe one day I wouldn't get my captain to stay in the base and even cap the places, just so they know. Oh, but they're not. They've come out of the base. That means it's not capped. Therefore, because you can't. They can't invite in other captains to their base to cap it instead of them. So I would just not cap one each day, but send my captain out to be on the lookout and be seen. And then they think, but that can't be the captain. Why? Because it's not in the base. And then some clever thing like that. But you're just saying last minute, like, okay, we're going to let's just pick randomly your captain.
Also, if you don't pick a captain...
Again, this show tells you that the main character is clever, or that other people are clever.
It doesn't show it.
But it just tells you these things. Oh, they made such a smart move. Did they really? Did they?
I mean, like, any gamer, anyone that plays video games or board games would turn around, see the weakness in this system, and instantly, like that, just go, we'll change your captain. Like, at the very last minute. Anyone that's worth their weight in salt would just fucking do that. It's like the dumbest shit. Anyway. And, what's the justifiable reason? Well, we don't want them to guess who the captain is. There you go. That's a justifiable reason. We don't want to lose points. We want them to lose points. Well,
he stubbed his toe, you see. And, I can't show you that he stubbed his toe, but he stubbed his toe. So he can't run if he needs to. And
Right. But another point is that, like, with our winning team, there's loads of infighting, right? Like, the boys versus the girls. Some boy has stolen some girl's underwear. There's, like, all this infighting going on. And all this infighting started after someone from another team joined them. They joined because they were kicked out of their team, right? So, like, Team 3 joined Team 1 because they were beaten up and kicked out of Team 3 and they didn't want any weak players and things like this. And then there's, like, infighting between the boys and the girls. Like, well, clearly one of you's the spy. I'm like, is it just me, or is it not blatantly obvious the stranger of the team that's the only one that would benefit from this?
Yep.
It's so fucking dumb. And please tell me when Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, or Bill Gates went through this in their education. Please.
There's that.
So fucking dumb.
There's that one, like, oh man, there's supposed to be like a super, super, super secret retreat for people of that level where they do weird forest ritual stuff.
What?
I can't remember the name of it. It's a big conspiracy thing.
Oh, well, it's probably not true.
Well, of course not.
But it's a dumb series. It's a fucking dumb series, and somehow this shit's getting fucking 2 seasons. I don't know how.
Well, the main character's all like, well, because people love a dumb mystery. And the main character's all like, I'm gonna pretend to make alliances, but really I'm doing it all for myself. And it's like, of course you are. You're a protagonist in this type of show. Of course you are.
Yeah. But you're a dickhead because everyone's got a secret. Yep. Can't believe this is getting not only a season 2 but a season 3 as well.
I can't believe I watched it.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I'm glad someone else could echo my frustrations.
I just know. I haven't looked into it, but I just know Tomodachi Game is going to get another season. And it really should.
So, Loz, do you have a series that you wish never got a second season or is due to get just off the first one?
Birdy the Mighty Decode.
Oh, off the first one?
What, off the first series?
Yeah, I thought the first series was really good.
No, okay, yeah. If you mean off of that, off the first season, looking at this list, okay. No, that was good. I like.
You could pick anything. We do have.
Why is Made in Abyss on this list?
Probably because he wants it to have more seasons.
Yes, that's one that I want to have a second season.
But it's getting more seasons.
I know. I'm just saying, it deserves one. I know some people might not think it needs more.
You can pick anything, Loz, that we have. It's
I don't
not
think there's
relegated
anything on that
to
list,
this.
I would say. Well, I can't think. No, that list is those all ones I was thinking of as well that I could think of. That in fact, I suggested some of these. But off the first season, I can't think of one off the first season. No, if you want to do one of those, then go for it. Because everything on here. I love the first season of what you're hovering, Nasuth.
What about that one?
But what about the second season?
Fine, we'll do Overlord. Let's do Overlord.
Okay.
Always gotta pick on Overlord when we get a chance.
Yeah, we'll kick it when it's down. We've watched all of Overlord. I've watched most of it in two dubs as well, and I like bits of Overlord. But after watching the first season of this, I don't understand why it was so successful. Now, obviously, I can't remember off the top of my head where the first season ends.
When with Ainz fighting Shaltir.
Oh god, yeah, that was when it starts going ridiculous. It just doesn't make sense. After seeing this character, he's like, okay, I was playing an MMO. I think also from experience, I've played an MMO when it's going to go out, which is my favorite one of my favorite games ever, Promancy Mobius, and I stayed in it till the time went off, and I didn't get to stay in that world, so I'm a bit bitter about that. But he stays in this world, and then he's got all this stuff, and it starts becoming alive, and it's like I'm living in this world now, and then his actions from that point on are just don't make any sense. And it maybe at points it alludes to that his thinking processes aren't human anymore and he can't experience emotion in the same way. But then at other points he still has his own monologue which is entirely human in response and has human embarrassment and human responses to things. So
very inconsistent.
Sense. Yeah, it's really inconsistent on that. The art's okay, but at times it just focuses on him and his mouth and he doesn't move much. That's not great. But I just find it kind of squandering a good premise. And then it's just so inconsistent and... what's the word? Is it multiple minds? What do I want to say with that? Not schizophrenic. Well, the fact that, it's got multiple ideas about what it wants to do. Like, when we have... I can't remember what we get with Momon in the first season. I think he kills that girl. It's okay, so... if you took this show and then put Skeleton Knight as Momon... like, that was him. He has to be serious because he has to give that front to the NPCs of his base, which are all alive now. And
but then inside...
but then when he's got his outside I'm free personality was more like it was Skeleton Knight, which is a person just going crazy and enjoying it. Great show, by the way. That would make more sense to me. Instead... Momon is all part of his elaborate conspiracy, and at points it almost alludes to he's doing it for fun, but then he isn't, and then he weaves it into his stupid taking over the world plot, and it's just stupid. It's stupid.
I think part of the problem with this is that the MMO itself is never explained in the anime. And I feel that really doesn't do the show justice because
I think they touch on it, but they don't really go in depth enough.
Well,
we know that there's do we know that there's a bunch of races, or is that something you learned?
No, we learned that in
reading the
from the wiki.
Yeah.
Also, the multi-class system, which again we only learned from the wiki.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We had to learn so much from the wiki.
The disparity between what's the name of the damn thing?
Oh, the different levels of magic.
So the fact that he's level 75, but his performance is above their ranking system. Like so in world, the way that they measure magic doesn't even encompass the performances of Ainz.
Like it goes up to like level 10 or something.
So I can't really remember, but it's basically Ainz could just, without, he could just sneeze all over it and just like destroy it in Like the stuff that Irons can perform, they can't even dream of.
Yeah.
So again, we only learned that from the wiki. So I really feel that the series is not.
There are allusions to it in the show. They'll be like, I'm going to cast a level 6 spell, and he just swats it away, and then he casts like a level 8 version of it. Cause, like, what was that? This is a real version. And then at other points when he, like, just, I don't know, instead of doing this in season 1, I know it's an episode, I was talking about late seasons, but he just, I think it was in season 3 or something, he just summons a load of demons that just stomp on an army. It's like, why weren't you doing that in season 1 if it was that easy to do? It doesn't seem like it was hard for him to do, or he had to spend some rare resource, he just does it.
The character's motivation is very perplexing. In Skeleton Knight, the main character arc, basically he's learning how the world works, but he learns it very quickly, and then he just goes on an adventure to do whatever the fuck he wants, right? Whereas with Overlord, the world building is constant. It just doesn't stop. And there's no adventure, right? It's just like, what's your motivation to do anything? I mean, fuck, Ark's motivation is to help the elf girl that he met, right?
Yeah.
No. His motivation at first is to have a fantasy adventure.
Yes, yeah. But he gets, like, after he's worked,
he's like, oh, elves! Fantasy adventure with elves! Way!
There you go. Yeah.
I guess he's also got their motivation now to reverse his curse, but I don't think that's going to end up happening.
Free myself from my curse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's all about adventure. Yeah.
It's all about way.
I'm having a great time.
So these are two shows certainly that
two shows joined by a skeleton.
Yeah. No. I'm talking about crap. Which was the one I picked on? Oh, Classroom of the Elite and Overlord.
Oh, yeah.
That I just... Yeah. I am noticing there's one towards the top of the list, Nasuth. Third one down.
There's the monsters. There's the giant stompy monsters
Yeah.
that destroy an whole army that he could have summoned at any time to be just instant win, and doesn't do till season 3 for no apparent reason.
But before we move on, I am going to say, I'm actually going to disagree and say that this needed a second season, because otherwise we wouldn't have had the lizard sex. You know?
My God, shut up.
We needed that. It was very important.
Shut up. No, it was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know what capacity you wanted to talk about the third one on the list, Nasuth.
Berserk?
Yeah.
Berserk 2016 was a travesty.
Should we move on to that?
Yeah, let's go.
Is that what category does that fall under?
It did have a second season, and it really shouldn't have. It definitely should not have. It is
right. Okay.
Right. Can we move on to that? Because I can't. Again, I know I've watched it, but I don't remember if I watched all of the first season of it. And I want to ask. So obviously, I'll introduce this as well, just for fun of it. So Berserk had an anime which was I'm going to look it up. Produced yonks ago.
That's not Berserk, is it?
Yeah.
I don't get the images for this.
Anyway,
that's Berserk.
It probably is.
Right. So the original Berserk season was
95, 96,
97 to 98.
Okay.
Obviously, Berserk is one of, if not the longest running manga, which is getting picked up, as we said last season, last episode.
Yep.
And is going to continue.
There was also the Golden Age 3-part OVA in the early mid-2000s, something like that. I think it was 2006. It's really good. It's really good.
The original 97, 98 one, whatever it was it's the start of the show, and it is amazing. It's really well done.
Yeah.
The Berserk 2016 one, I thought the story was fine. The problem with it is the CG is absolutely uncanny valley fugliness.
Yeah, that is the main problem with it, and it continues into the 2017 one, and that's why I didn't want it to have a second season, because it's not a good way to show people this story.
Yeah,
they're gonna look at that and they're gonna be like, well, okay, maybe they're gonna take in the story, maybe, but they're gonna be so turned off. You know how it wasn't Orient, it was Rusted Armor.
Yeah.
I think you took like one look at that and you were like, "Oh no, I can't,
No.
I can't." Yeah, this isn't quite that bad, but it's close. It does actually some really interesting things with the animation now and then, but it doesn't look good. They were trying, but it wasn't there. But yeah, not really too much more to say
Weirdly
about
enough, if anyone hasn't seen it, I would recommend check out Spriggan on Netflix.
I haven't watched it yet, but I need to.
It's done by Studio David, who've done JoJo, but the way that they've animated it is really interesting because the CG elements with like the highly detailed guns, the highly detailed like armored suits and things, also have an animated quality to them.
They're getting better at that. They really are.
No. They 2D hand drawn over the 3D face. So it still has that. So the organic part. Yeah. So at one point in time, it's rough. It's new. It's rough. It is very good. But like at one point in time, you see a girl who's purely animated except for her gun. Sorry, 2D animated, except for her gun, which is 3D. And they have to track the gun with the girl. And sometimes it feels like the gun is moving a bit odd in her hands. But it's a very clever way to do it, and I think could go a long way in the future.
Interesting.
Especially considering animated faces, or faces in CG are like the biggest problem when it comes to stuff.
It's a bit tricky.
Shows.
Watching any of these stills, you're probably anyone who's watching the show now. It actually looks okay. It doesn't look bad. It looks decent. It's in the movement is where this just looks horrific. I don't know what it is or what method they're doing. I'm sure if Drew saw it, he could tell us that it's been done on 3s or something, and that's why.
No. It's one of those where it looks like they've motion captured it or something, but they didn't do it right, and so the movements are all weirdly. Like they're in water or something. The same thing happened in Shikizakura.
The key thing is there's no weight to the movement.
Yes.
It's just done entirely mechanically, and it just doesn't feel like they're real people in the real world.
Yeah.
I can't really speak for Berserk 2016 because I haven't seen it. But I have thought to myself about what could animation studios do to make it look better. And I think it's something to do with the shading.
That's a lot of it too, yeah. So, like, look at this one.
The shading is so realistic compared to a lot of anime, where the shading is stylistic. So, when people move, the shadows move with it because the light source doesn't change. Now, that's something... So, the shadows are adapting to the light source, which is something you typically don't see in anime, right? They take a lot of shortcuts, so the shading is very simplistic and it moves, in an animated way, in an unrealistic way. But it's something that we expect to see. So it's really interesting. But anyway, yeah. So this big steaming dump truck because CG super bad, yeah.
Yeah. Oh. I think there's another one on our list that shouldn't have had a second season because of animation issues.
Go for it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't watched it though. It's that one. That...
Oh no, this falls under the second category. So I mean, we can move on to the second category right now if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the second category is what show's got a second season that spoiled the show.
Oh.
So this is where One Punch Man lands. The first season was incredible, but the second season was like, what the F is this?
Hot steamy poo poo.
It wasn't hot steamy poo poo, but it was just it built to nowhere. It built to season 3, and it hasn't had a season 3, and it's like,
it lacks the spectacle. Right? In season 2, it lacks the spectacle of how Saitama and Genos would interact with each other, or how any of the characters would interact. Like the punches weren't over embellished at all, which makes it feel. It was effectively if they just directly copied the manga, and the manga is. It shows the bare minimum information to convey the story. Most of the time it needs to. But in anime, you can't do that. You need a lot more quality. Right? And yeah, so the first season of One Punch Man is fantastic. It's brilliant. It's really well told. It's really well animated. But the second season... They took weird liberties. They chopped out chunks of the story, and for some strange reason, they made Saitama's head look freaking weird as hell. If you look at some of these stills, like the body proportions are just like really off and things. But because it was partway through a story, it didn't finish, it didn't resolve, it didn't go anywhere. It needs a third season, but there's been no news of it getting a third season. What?
Would you say that if it ended at the first season, it would have been a complete story, or would it? I mean, obviously I know there's more to it, but would it have felt like a decent ending if it had stopped at the first season?
Yes,
there was a resolution and everything.
It doesn't answer all the questions, but it gets to you could watch season 1 and then be like, that was awesome, and you don't have to have any more, but there was definitely so much room to grow. It barely gets into anything really, but it's such a good show.
This is
probably the benchmark on when you have an overpowered Gary Stu, Mary Sue character, or the esque character. How do you still have a compelling story with a character that is just the massive most of overpowered? And I can't think of another show that's done that concept as well as One Punch Man.
Clearly you have an elimination battle between different universes, overseen by a capricious god that likes to, destroy things.
No,
Saitama would have won.
But Saitama is the god. Is the difference here.
If you present Saitama with the god, Saitama would kill the god.
Saitama would kill it with one punch, because that's like a law of the universe, is that whatever he punches, he'll kill in one punch.
Yeah, so God cannot ever present himself in front of Saitama, because Saitama would kill God. So,
well, no, Saitama is God. Saitama killed God. Saitama is God.
Saitama would be new God, yeah, exactly.
No, Saitama just is God. He can unmake things at his will.
Anywho,
punch them out of existence.
Yeah.
So the problem with One Punch Man is that it would very easily fall into the same territory as shows like No Game No Life. You want a second season, but the problem is that this second season spoiled it, right?
Yeah, it didn't continue the good points of why season 1 was so endearing, and my understanding mainly is because it had a different animation studio doing it.
Completely different, yeah.
It wasn't, and I didn't mind. The animation isn't bad in the second season. It's functional. It's okay, but it's also like the way the plot focuses, or the
it's more what they chose to skip and stuff. Yeah.
They're focusing on things which are clearly meant to be important in season 3. Like, most of season 2 is on building up this guy here, actually, who's just luckily came on screen, who's clearly meant to be a big villain in season 3. Like, a massive villain. Yeah, exactly. who might even, I don't know, be able to become a villain that doesn't die in one punch, you don't know. But he's clearly building towards that direction, and then they don't get there by the end of season 2. It's clearly intended to get onto a season 3, and it never got that. It just stopped.
It's really interesting because where they got to in the second season, the English manga had just released that volume, so they were really close to where they were in terms of the manga. So I think they're releasing volume 24 this fall, I think. So it could be that, yeah, we could get a season 3, but we have to wait for the manga to finish.
Yeah, it's probably one of these things that I expect that once the manga's finished, it may get picked up again and done. You know,
yeah, I was gonna say,
sometimes animation studios do just try and throw stuff out there before it's finished. Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
And then have to go from there because they're so desperate to get stuff to do sometimes. You know,
One Punch Man Brotherhood. Well, I was gonna say, would you like to see a season 3, or would you prefer a full reboot or a full restart?
No, I'd be
Season
fine
3.
with this. I would be fine with a season 3, but please don't cut out some of the best parts of the manga.
well,
like
it's similar to what we just had earlier with Berserk. I wouldn't want anyone to reboot that original series. The original series is perfect. Great
Well, that's
music.
essentially what Golden Arc is a reboot, but I think it holds the spirit well.
Okay, but like it doesn't need, you don't need to tread that part of the story again.
Yeah.
And the same thing for One Punch Man 1 and even season 2. Season 2 is fine if it could be redeemed by whatever was going to happen in season 3, and you can accept that. But the fact that they just did season 2 and then went like
Sequel baited, yeah.
It then gets negatively affected by that. It didn't stand alone like season 1 could. It was clearly branching off into season 3, and we've yet to have that.
I mean, the biggest problem I had with season 2 was the fact that they chopped out nearly all of the tournament fights between any of the characters. So while everything is going on, there's supposed to be Saitama is supposed to be learning kung fu and things basically he's supposed to be trying to learn martial arts so he can make his fights more interesting rather than just beating everything.
You can pretend to be fighting.
No, not so that he can pretend to be fighting, so he can control his abilities, his powers, because he literally just throws a punch and he kills everything. So he wants to learn
wants to
control.
hide his true power level. Gotcha.
Kind of. Yeah, but they just chopped it all out. So he fights like so many characters and things, but they just chopped it all out.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't
And
even
they
do a
just
montage?
went. Nope. They did the first fight he did and the last fight he did. And that was it. I'm like, wow, that's fucking awful. All so they could actually fit as much as they did into the season. And it's like, yeah, but you're spending it on the wrong place.
Yeah, that would have been a perfect, like, it was towards the end of the season, a perfect, like, Saitama episode to be like, oh yeah, this is the stuff I remember, or it's largely Saitama. Instead, they waste that to go focus on the villain guy some more.
Yeah. You know, so it's yeah. I mean, I come to watch/read One Punch Man for Saitama's antics, right? If you're gonna chop it out, then why the fuck am I here? Okay, so moving on to another series of it. You know, did a brilliant first season, the second season ruined it. Let's go to Birdy, the Mighty Decode. Loz.
Yay! So I will say I haven't rewatched this show recently to try and remember it. But do we have pictures of it? Oh, there we go. Right. So the main key thing, correct me if I'm right, to think together we can remember this. I don't really want to go rewatch it though. We have a main character who gets injured by some aliens, and in order to keep him alive, the female protagonist has to fuse with him.
Kind of.
Yeah, so they're basically two beings in one body, though.
Yes, that is correct. So I think she basically downloads his consciousness into her body while his body's being fixed.
Yeah. And obviously hijinks ensue as they're both in the same body and he still has to go to school. He has a girl he likes and do things. Well, I can't remember what she has to do with alienness. They fight off villains and things.
As far as I can tell, she's like a detective that's trying to find like illegal aliens on Earth. So they're kind of like Men in Black. Yeah. So there are aliens hiding amongst humanity. And they're up to no good. They're up to hijinks. They're up to like destroying the world or some shit like that. And she has to find them, hunt them down, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and it's mostly
while
like,
still allowing him to attend school.
Yeah, it's mainly like villain of the week-esque stuff. You know, because they feel really indebted to him because he got caught in the crossfire or whatever it was. So they're like, okay, we have to try and help him out. They don't just be like, okay, your conscience is going to sit in my body while we fix yours, and that's it. They do feel like sad about what they did to him, so they try and keep his normal life going while they sort him out. And he will go back to his own body eventually. And that's the cool premise. So the linking thing is the two people in one body thing. And then it's sort of, as I recall, more like problem of the week, who they're investigating, what's going on. The problem with season 2, as I recall, is season 2 has a main villain sort of thing again that overarches the whole season. And it doesn't really go anywhere. We spend almost the entire time with Birdy, that's the girl's name, as Birdy. There's only a few points which the other guy comes into it, and it's not really from a in the first season, if he has a strong emotional reaction, he actually overwrites her, if I'm right.
I don't remember that, but
I remember.
Sounds
but
familiar.
basically, there were times when she didn't want him to take over, but he could take over because it was something to do with saving a girl or something that he wanted to do. So it was an interesting thing between the two of them, that they weren't just. And I think if they left it too long, they're worried that that the guy would overwrite Birdy in the mind. I think.
Oh, that does ring a bell. Yeah.
Yeah, because they had to do that to keep his consciousness alive. She's like sharing her body with it, and by that she's like almost the secondary mind if he chooses to. But obviously he's a nice guy. He doesn't. Yeah, he's not aiming to do that. But in season 2, that just disappears. All of that. They still have this body thing, even though I swear in season 1 they fix his body.
They fix it, and then for season 2 they break it again.
They break it again, just like stupid, just to continue it. Yeah, season 2 is just like, let's have more of the same. Yeah. And so they break it again.
There's one part you missed out, which is the love interest in season 2. They make such a big... Yeah, in season 2, they make a big deal of Birdy falling in love with this nurse from a hospital. And I think it's a case of he's also an alien or something like this. And, yeah, and, like, it's this... they put so much emphasis on it, but they don't do anything with it. Oh, it's really important, this whole, relationship between Birdy and this guy, and like, but they don't do anything. It's like, it's pointless.
Bad.
Yeah.
It's like sprinkles. They don't taste like anything.
The reason it comes, I can't remember the fullness of it, but when the last few episodes, she's fighting this villain, and there is a time travel element to it. Of what's going on.
Remember.
There is, and we thought that it was going to be amazing if Birdy time traveling was the reason for the bad guy appearing or whatever. That we came up with this this theory on the last episode. Like, oh my god, if they do this, it would be amazing, because then it would retroactively throughout the second season knock off like all these points and make it into an amazing reason about what's going on.
Yeah,
and then he's just he's just a bad guy in the end.
Yeah.
It just went nowhere, and it's just like, what? And then it just ends, and it's just like, what?
What is this?
They have a chance to make a really interesting plot and bad guy, and no.
Yeah, so the first season is worth a watch. It's fun, hijinks, good.
The art style looks really good too.
It's alright, yeah.
So if you're interested in seeing like a really good show, watch the first season, and do yourself a favor and stop. Right.
I remember it being called like the Birdy. It was called like Project Birdy or something. Probably assuming that they were going to make more seasons, but just like season 2 was just awful. It was
horrific. Like it's to the point of I just I don't want to watch it again, right? Because I
would consider rewatching season 1.
Yeah. But like it just ruined it. It really bloody ruined it.
Yeah.
And I think the main reason why it ruined it was, well, basically it felt like, oh look, we've got a second season. We can we can make more money. The first season was so popular, we can make a second season, and then continue the popularity.
What do we do though?
More money.
We already fixed all these problems.
No source. Yeah, we've got no source material, so like we just make it up, right?
No, but it was like they were looking at him like, okay, we're gonna do the second season, guys. Okay, so what do we got to do? Well, at the end of last season, we fixed it so the guy's not in her anymore. No, but
Gotta break that
that's
again.
the show.
Yeah.
But that's the show.
Yeah.
We've got to have that point in the show. We can't let the show evolve and have him still be an important part and maybe actually start helping her. Maybe he's gained something for being so long in her body and he has some sort of power or something.
Or heck, maybe even do it so that she's the one that gets injured and has to be in his brain now.
Because
that would be
they
better.
they spent so long together that they're compatible in a human body, so it has to be his human body.
Yeah.
I think that would be okay for like a small part of the series, but not for like the whole length of the
Oh,
series.
yeah.
Like that's the problem. Is that they wanted this concept that was not necessary for the show and decided that was the key concept of the show. When the characters were established, we knew who they are. We could have them separate now and have a show where it was like on a different key twist of it. And just have other reasons
now to see how they work together outside of one body.
Yeah, but no, they didn't. They wanted to keep that thing still going, and then they didn't do anything with it in season 2. It was awful.
Yeah, and I can't remember it, and in all honesty, I just remember it leaving such a bitter taste in my mouth. I just don't want to watch it again. So yeah, okay then. I think it is time to move on to the next series, which is Infinite Stratos.
Oh, really? Okay.
Is this still? This is still in this section. Okay.
Yeah, this is still the section of shouldn't have had a second season. So I honestly, I knew I really liked the first season, and I knew I really didn't like the second season.
So you've recently gone and rewatched this.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
How did you feel? Yeah,
same, exact same, right? But I couldn't remember why I felt these ways. So yes, I went ahead and went and rewatched it and everything. And the first season is like, so the premise is basically all these women can, it's like, oh god, a scientist.
No. Yeah. So war has kind of become a separate thing because the invention of a device which takes a female, it has to be a female, and merges them with some sort of awesome reactor core element and gives them a powered, armored, cool, super energy suit sort of thing.
I'm with you. All right.
Power suit.
Sure.
Different countries around the world have been given these different suits, so it's kind of pushed the world into a basic armistice. Like each one of a regular army is useless because one of these people in one of these suits would just decimate an entire army. They could just instantly win a normal war by themselves. They're almost like a nuclear weapon in a person, but without the nuclear fall, that kind of thing. So at the same time, though, they all exist. So we don't have any wars anymore because it's kind of contained in a power balance. But they all come from different countries.
No. That's not why. So basically, these suits could outdo all form of war, but the scientist that creates the suits says no war. You cannot use these for military purposes at all. So if you do, she shuts it down, right? Instantly. They're only used for education. That's it.
So we must kill her first.
Yeah, it's said in the first episode. I'm like, really? How does that work?
How does that work? Well, also that's and that's blood. Season 2 makes that a bloody lie.
I know. Season 2 is just like a crock of shit. But
my understanding is that the introduction of these things has also stopped war around the world.
Yeah, because these things could just basically.
But she wouldn't have them for
defense, but not offense.
She creates one of them, and it takes out like 50 intercontinental ballistic missiles. In just one go. Like, you know, this power suit just utterly wrecks face. This is the first one she's made, and she knows the pilot. She gave it to a specific pilot and just completely wrecks face in order to stop conflict across the globe. But she then creates, I think it's like 473 of these things, and gives them to the world. They cannot be replicated by anyone but her, and they are not allowed to be used for war, right? And thus they make this one school in Japan that teaches people how to use these weapons of non-war.
But could they use them for defense?
Well,
presumably.
I don't. Probably, but like, it just says they're not allowed to be used for military purposes. I'm like,
yeah, but defending oneself would probably. I think it means more like
no military aggression.
No, aggression. I think that's why, and then because she does give them to like everyone around the world, like each country.
Yes,
she gives
each country has one.
I think it's more that like no country can use them to. If they attack each other, I will stop you. But at the same time, you don't have to fear your neighbors because everyone has one. So if you were attacked, I'll turn off the enemies. Also, before I do that, you'll have your own ones to defend yourself, kind of thing.
Also,
if they shoot a bunch of missiles at you.
Yes, exactly. Huh? Yeah. So by everyone having them for defense, somebody can't be like, aha, we have these, so we can't be attacked, but we can take our nuclear arsenal and go shoot. I don't know, India. India can't do anything about it, but India could use their own to defense. It's like that kind of.
Exactly.
At the same time, then they send everyone to a school in Japan.
Yeah.
Yep.
So weird.
And
so weird.
The big thing is that they're all programmed to only respond to women and one guy.
Of course.
So the only people that can pilot these suits are women and that one guy.
Look at his face.
Is he
perfect chart? Yeah.
He's not.
That's the guy.
He's not even really like a very effeminate guy. He's just guy. He's just protagonist man.
I can't remember if it's in season 1 or season 2, but they do make allusions that the person who built these things kind of chose to do that. And that even though they were like, oh no, it only works on girls. It honestly only works on girls. You chose that guy to have one, didn't you? No.
Yeah, if she wanted to, she could make them work for all guys, but she doesn't want
Guys
to.
are too aggressive, you see. They can't be trusted.
Yeah, well, you watch this series and trust me, it's not that way around. So the first season is really interesting because it shows the whole school dynamic in this situation. It shows the whole training process. It shows the cultural differences between different nations. It also shows how American voice actors and actresses should not do a French, German, or English accent. Thank God we weren't Cockney. Yeah, because I watched it dubbed because I was working at the same time.
What do we get? Do we just get like a posh girl?
Yeah, we got a very, very, very prim and proper posh girl. You know,
oh my, how dear.
At least she wasn't fucking Cockney, as I said. But yeah, so the guy goes through the training. He gets better. He gets taught different things. There is a very strong
harem.
He's a harem. They put a lot of effort into building the system. The author really does define how these power suits work, whereas a lot of the shows that we've been complaining about, it's all over the place. So that's the greatness that is the first season. Second season, on the other hand, turns into basic. It's a teenager's wet dream.
Oh no, I fell on you after coming out of the shower and I slept on some random bit of water. And now my boobs are in your face. Oh no!
Actually, to be fair, in the first season, like, all the girls were like, didn't want to be near him, right? Because they thought it was like, oh, he's a guy, he's gonna perv on me or whatever. But in the second season, it is that level of hijinks. It really stupidly is. Like, at one point in time, they're like, oh yeah, you've got to come to this room over here for special training, and he's dragging his textbooks to this secret room, and it turns out to be some kind of skit show where all the main protagonist girls are dressed up in animal costumes and they're trying to come on to the main male protagonist. Even the bloody teacher, both teachers are in on it. Right? And it's just like, you're teachers. Why are you letting this even happen? Why haven't you turned around and just said no? Another point in time, they have this competition at a festival where they have to... whoever gets the crown off of the guy's head ends up becoming the roommate for the guy for the rest of the year and things like that. First off, where was his agreement in this? Nope, none of that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and like the budget that they had for this set to chase him around on is utterly ridiculous, right? Most festivals you see in anime is like, here's some planks of wood, there we have a stall, right? This they had fucking built a castle. They built a whole fucking castle. I'm like, what the hell's this shit? So the second season is awful. It is just all over the place. I think that's
why they don't give other super suits to men, because clearly merging with one of them makes him put out all these pheromones that turn women into idiots after long enough exposure.
It's clear that they either didn't have either the manga goes downhill, or there wasn't a manga for second season, or if this did have a manga, it just, I don't know, when it was stupid, or they just decided just to do fan service the season.
I mean, yeah, fan service and risque comedy is all well and good, but you kind of have to earn it, and it sounds like it didn't earn it.
Well, not just that, you still have to have the plot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what I mean.
Another big part of the problem with this is, like, he by the end of the first season, it was established who the main love interest was going to be. Plus, he became quite adept at using his power suit. Then the start of the second season, he hadn't got a bloody clue what the hell he was doing, and all the progression that was made towards a main love interest was just completely undone.
So hijinks can ensue.
Just so hijinks can ensue. It was bad. It was fucking bad. Like, so I wouldn't say that the show was the best. Like Birdy season 1 I remember liking a lot more than this, but at least
season 1 was watchable.
Yeah, at least season 1 was watchable. Season 2 is just like, oh dear god, just why? And again, like, it breaks its own rules. It massively breaks its own rules.
As I recall, towards the end of season 2, so my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Xeno. So there's two parts to like the people flying in the super suit. There's the person, there's like the link energy core thing, and then there's the actual frame of the suit itself. The individual countries can modify the suit part themselves. Mm-hmm. They can't affect the energy core that's powering it and make more of the suits, but they can affect like how many guns the thing has or whatever, or design a better one. The actual like streamlining and things. And in season 2, the girl there, the posh girl in the middle there with the blue band,
British.
She's British, and Britain has made a better suit, and it gets stolen and then gets piloted by an AI.
No. Oh yeah, we don't know, right? Because so basically, it's alluded that the pilot is the second sister to the main protagonist, right? So. You would have seen from time to time, like there was one screenshot of the guy where his head is being slammed into a desk by a teacher that doesn't look too dissimilar from him because it's his older sister, right? But it turns out he has a younger sister too. Literally, like, it's never explained, right? Like, it could be a clone. Could be a legitimate sister that he has somehow forgotten about. I mean, he's forgotten about all his childhood friends. That's the sister. That's the older sister there. Like, slamming his head into the desk because he's referring to her by first name basis and being cheeky. So, it's like...
He gets a head slam.
Yeah, into his desk. Yeah, if you break that computer monitor, you gotta pay to replace it. Anyway, but yeah, it's just like, well... What the fuck's going on with this? Never explained. Never. You have no idea who this character is. They just completely... I don't know if they were aiming for a third season. The second season was relatively wrapped up in some form of a bow. Maybe with, like, string. But, yeah, it's, just never explained. So, what if he has a third sister? You know it's coming.
What if they're all actually related to the woman that made the supersuit technology?
Wait,
actually, that's something we haven't...
Did they find the little sister?
Yeah, this little sister's the one that's piloting for the bad guys.
Right, and do they rescue her or whatever? Or something?
No, they just they fly off to fight another day.
Farewell,
Loz-
sister.
Loz is like, that's dumb.
Moving on.
Actually, one point we didn't touch upon is the fact that the girl there with like the green ribbon in her hair, the school student, she's the younger sister of the girl that created the technology that makes these suits possible and things. And they're childhood friends, and that's pretty much the only reason why he can pilot it, is because they're childhood friends. That's like the only fucking reason. Yeah. Right. Unless anyone has any other ones that they want to talk about, I think it is time to talk about the shows that we wish got a second season.
Well, there is Attack on Titan, but we've talked about that one at length already, like plenty of times.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Right. So let's go to, and I'm going to give the floor to Nasuth, so I can go get a glass of water. Let's talk about No Game No Life.
Oh, No Game No Life. Oh my goodness.
Go on, Nasuth.
I am so sad. This is the one that I said made me angry that you made me watch it, because now I know the pain of there not being a second season. Going into this, I expected it just to be, another moderately generic isekai where they get transported into a video game world sort of thing. But then it starts throwing curveballs at you pretty early on. The relationship between the brother and sister, I like how they like sort of, go into detail on that slowly as you go through the season. You get to learn, like, why they're both as smart as they are, because they're smart. They're really quite clever when it comes to like probabilities and game logic and all this stuff, which is why they're the perfect place for this world. Then, oh gosh, we binged it all day yesterday.
We didn't spend a day binging it. We just binged it in a day.
In a day. Yeah, it's 6 episodes, or 12 episodes. You can do it in about 6 hours.
6 hours.
6 hours.
Yeah.
The conflict at the end, oh my gosh. Everything from like the chess game onward is just, every time they got into one of these game battles, because there are rules to these, so there's a whole set of rules to this world that are essentially all like, it forces it so that all conflicts are settled through games rather than wars or whatever. And the rules are like, if you get challenged, then you can pick the game and sort of decide how to play it, but it has to be fair. Nobody can cheat. And overall have fun. Let's all have fun together. So like he uses that to his advantage to end up getting people to work with him, or to come with him and be his servants, and he slowly works his way up towards he ends up in charge of a kingdom, and then he finds out like deep dark secrets about a neighboring kingdom, and goes on a quest to take over the world. It's so good. It all sets up perfectly for a new season, and then there's just nothing. We got all these great characters, funny comedy moments. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
Just to point out, the one April Fools I always fall for, no matter what.
No Game No Life Season 2?
It's the second season of No Game No Life. I will always fucking fall for that. Like, no matter, because
have you read the manga? Is there manga?
I think there is, but no, I haven't read
You
it.
should go read that manga.
A part of me really wants to. A part of me's been trying to read Deadman Wonderland all bloody day, but I haven't been able to read a dicky bird of it. So, No Game No Life is brilliant. You do have these like weirdly smart characters and things like this.
But then it makes sense at the end. By the end, it's like you're sitting there going, are these characters too smart? But then you find out stuff about them, and it makes sense.
No, it's not just that. It's the fact that they go through the methodology as to why a character has come up with the conclusion the way they have.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just I think that he thinks that I think that he thinks that I think that he thinks that I am a serial killer if I win this tennis match.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So towards the start, our tag team duo, they as soon as they've taken control of the kingdom, they basically appear to be shirking all form of responsibility, but they're not. They're going around, they're reading everything they can get their hands on to gain every bit of information they can glean into how things work, so that they can proceed to move forward with their ultimate game, right?
But they're also using it as a chance to root out nobles that won't follow them as the new leaders.
Yes, but the whole point
it's got like a double purpose. It's great.
Yeah, so it's like, they do really clever things rather than just like, aha, no one would ever think that I'm the ethereal killer because I have a book.
If I tell you that my power is telepathy.
Oh god, that's the other bad one.
Yeah.
Stupid battle after 5 seconds. So yeah, I very much wish that this would get a second season, but I think, well, this was done by Madhouse, and Madhouse are known for not doing second seasons. They just don't do them.
I think there are also things in here that a Western audience might not have liked, and so that might. But they don't really do stuff based on the Western market, so
I don't think that would take a second to consideration. Again, likewise, there's what was it? I'm pretty sure One Punch Man season 1 was Madhouse, right? Pretty much a lot of the phenomenal season 1s are Madhouse or Mappa and things like that, but they won't do a second season.
Yeah, I think I had a meme a couple weeks back that was like Madhouse saying, "Oh, we've got this great anime," and they said, "What about this season 2 of this other anime?" Give it to Mappa. Just give it to Mappa.
Yeah, pretty much. They'll do that. I think Studio Wit were doing. Wasn't it Studio Wit?
It might have been Studio Wit. Actually, yeah.
Because they were doing Attack on Titan, and then they gave it to Mappa. But Mappa does great stuff as well.
Oh yeah, their art is amazing. I won't.
Yeah.
As bad as Attack on Titan got for other reasons, the art is still amazing.
I honestly would love to have a second season of No Game No Life, and even though the last game in the show is really fucking bullshit, it's just the very last. We're talking about the last half of an episode. It's like it's nothing in the grand. The whole of the series is just so goddamn good.
It was a bit of a. I do. Yeah, you mean the rubbish at the end? How he. Yeah,
yes.
It is. I do feel that as a last point, it would have been great to go out on a high. It does go out on a bit of like, what? It does sour a little bit by stupidity, but then it does lead into, oh, this is what's going to happen next season. You're like, oh, yeah, it's going to be good ones. Get ready for now.
Those. Yeah.
But alas, I'd kill for a second season.
Alas.
Who would kill?
Who would I kill? Loz.
You said you'd kill.
Loz, I'm sorry to say this. I would kill you for a second.
The top 10 anime betrayals.
Like, actually, in Notice Me Senpai, I was asked, like, what 5-year stint would you go back in time for just to alter the course of anime? But in doing so, it means that you're sacrificing every other show past that point, right? So no My Dress Up Darling, no Mushoku Tensei, no, it's like, without batting an eyelid, I said 2010 to 2015 just so we can get a second season of No Game No Life. Without batting an eyelid.
Marin is disappointed in you.
Huh? Marin? Oh, I know, but I'm sorry, Marin. No Go No Life Season 2. I mean, come on.
Give it to the same studio that did JoJo.
Actually, separate entirely. I would love to see a Guyver series done by David Productions. Yeah, David Productions. I love a Guyver series done by them. I think they would do a fantastic job. Anyway, sorry. Right, let's move on to the next one. And potentially the last one, unless any of you guys really specifically want to do anything.
Not that I can really think of, yeah.
Okay. I want to cover Deadman Wonderland. Right? I rewatched this for this episode, and I forgot how good this series was. Do you want to introduce it, Loz?
Oh.
We're going to see how much you remember.
Okay. Japan in the future. Criminals are... No, people are gaining weird powers. These weird people with powers are forced into a super prison and are forced to fight each other as part of a game show.
Ooh, okay, alright.
Close.
Am I right?
Quite close.
What am I missing?
So, these powered individuals are hidden from the public eye. The game show is, like, between...
Oh, we're talking
it's like a club
Squid
sort of
Game, Super Private, Rich
Yes,
People.
yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So-
then we have a girl who is linked to who is not 02, honestly. I suppose she gave us who is actually seems to be the source of the powers. She's also sort of locked up in the prison, I think, but she does escape to go see our main protagonist, and she gives him powers because he didn't have powers. He gained the powers, and then he gets put in the prison. And the powers are linked to using your own blood as a weapon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
All
they're
right.
different.
So basically, there was an event that happened, I think 10 years ago or something, where effectively people were infected with a virus, and the survivors of said virus, it took out like the majority of Tokyo, and the survivors of the virus had the ability to control their blood and turn it into a weapon, right? However, this one kid, in 10 years later, in present day, actually in the manga it says 2023, so it's only next year.
Oh, wow.
He gets attacked while at school. All his schoolmates are murdered. He is the only survivor. He is attacked, and he has this rock, sort of like this red gem, shot at his torso, at his basically his sternum, and he then wakes up in hospital and is then questioned by the police as a suspect for murdering all his schoolmates. There's evidence that shows that he was the one that did it, which is actually explained way better in the anime. The manga just like freaking breezes right past that. And yeah, so he's falsely imprisoned. And yeah, he has to survive. And the prison that they're in is Japan's first privatized prison, called Deadman Wonderland. And the idea is that it's a theme park that is operated by the prison inmates. So all the prisoners have... Oh no, all the death row prisoners have a collar on that if they don't eat this candy every 3 days, the poison that's been pumped into their veins will kill them. And that will be them serving their time. Otherwise, they can function within this prison, so on and so forth. There's like different events and stuff, like a dog race that is one of them, and they're supposed to survive. But it's like this place is effectively hell on earth for the prisoners and the mass populace, the tourists, the public. They think it's just a spectacle, that people aren't dying right in front of them. It's all like, CG or animatronics or crap like this. And like, how can you not notice the mass amount of blood?
Well, with graphics these days.
Oh god, that just reminds me of Avenue 5.
Oh god.
CG. I do video effects. I can tell you that CG is fun. That's stupid fucking so stupid.
That's such a good show.
They clearly
That's a show that needs a
down
season
too.
2 as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not anime, so we can't recommend that.
And, yeah. It could
But
be.
regardless,
Though. It could be.
so this series is really well animated. It is, it's such a good series. It never got a season 2, and I think I found that unfortunately 5 years after the release of this, the studio closed up. It went into filed for bankruptcy, and it's a shame, right? I would love to see a second season of this. It is such a good series. I recommend anyone to go away and check it out.
Yeah. And it was building towards more stuff for a season 2. It ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, which was kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so from what I could tell, it's got like 51 chapters of manga, and they only got to like chapter 20.
Oh, wow.
So there's plenty of room. Yeah, there was plenty of room for more.
They also, the premise alone would do fine for filler. You could easily make filler with this.
Oh, yeah.
More villains in with different powers of blood that you can come up with.
One thing that I don't understand is why this has the content warning of nudity. I don't know why. I freaking watched this just recently. I don't remember any nudity in this series at all.
Not even when they're using the prison showers or anything.
They don't use the prison showers.
Wow, immersion broken.
I mean, unless you consider seeing someone's back as nudity.
They may do.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. So it's a fantastic series, and it's a shame it didn't get a season 2. The English dub is pretty damn solid, and yeah, I mean, it does have extreme violence. There is a lot of blood in the show, but yeah, it's honestly just such a shame that it didn't get a season 2. Yeah.
Maybe letting their blood out. Maybe letting their blood out is the ultimate nudity because you're seeing what's underneath their skin.
You are so random sometimes.
Perfectly logical. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I don't know what else there is to say right now. Well,
why? Uh-oh. Something wrong there. That's all right. You can just read them from.
I'll read them from the thing. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay then. So shall we move on to the supporter questions?
Let's get to it.
Okay. Cool. So
wait. Haven't we done? We haven't done everything, have we?
No, we don't have to go through all of them.
We don't have to go through all of them.
Hang on, let's go through just a quick look. So we did.
Is there any other ones you want to talk about?
Special. Just do special mention then of ones you wish.
Okay.
Did.
Sure.
Okay. So
go through the list. Yeah.
Well, Miss Kuroitsu, I hope gets a second season.
Oh, I need to finish that still. Yeah, that was good. That was good fun. That was from last season. That was about making monsters for Sentai warriors to fight, which is really good. On a budget. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, what else we got on this list?
So good.
Scroll up. Well, we got Made in Abyss, which
is getting a season 2. Season. Yeah,
it's very good. Nasuth loves it. Made us watch it.
Yeah,
we were. I was a bit like, "Girl, what is this?" at first, and then was like,
pretty good by the end. Yeah.
Oh god.
I could still leave the main character behind.
Yeah, we definitely should have watched. We definitely should have watched the movies rather than the series. But I get what you mean.
Yeah.
We got anything else? Konosuba? Why is Konosuba on this list?
Probably because it deserves a 3rd season.
That is
getting a 3rd season.
Well, I mean, that's probably why I never mentioned it. So you
just
know,
like I think that thumbs up.
I think we put. I think
Megaman says 3rd season. Job done.
I think we put that one and Shield Hero on there because.
The 4. Are we getting a 3rd season?
Yeah.
I think we put those on because it might have been controversial that they even had a 2nd season. I don't know. Berserk, we did that. Attack on Titan, we did that. Ajin did have a 2nd season. We briefly touched on it.
Yeah.
Because it's Ajin did have a second season, but a lot of people didn't really like it. So I enjoyed it, but a lot of people thought it was bad. So it may not have needed one.
Is it a second season in the sense of it's a Netflix second season, which is actually the first half of the first season? Sorry, second half of the first season.
That might be true. Yeah, because it was spring and fall, so or winter and fall, autumn, winter and autumn.
How many episodes were in each?
I don't remember.
Okay, fine.
Didn't tell you off the top of my head.
We'll never know.
But and then it also got like a movie that sort of capped off the series. Yeah.
Yep. Another one we had was The Devil is a Part-Timer.
Yeah.
This was in the why is this getting a second season? Like, I rewatched this comparatively recently, actually because of this very reason. Is like, you know, how many shows are getting a second season and stuff. And I rewatched it. It's all right. I mean, I remember enjoying it more back when it first came out, but since then, other stuff has done the job better, right? I liked Sword Art Online when that first came out, then slowly grew to dislike it. Okay, rapidly grew to dislike it. And Mushoku Tensei does the job fucking so much leagues better.
So good.
You know, so much better. And then I think we've got Rising of the Shielded Hero in here, solely because we be sad about how bad the
start of it was.
Second season. Oh my god.
The first half of the second season.
I know there's some parts of this second half of the second season that I freaking struggle with.
It's
mostly pacing.
A little bit of an eye roll.
That's first episode.
Oh, if they started, I know there is plot. If the plot ignored all the bits and like went from the first season into the second half, the quality of the second half of the season, I wouldn't have minded.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's so much better.
Or if they figured out a better way to condense it rather than making it feel like
than missing a clearly missing episode.
Yeah.
That links the two series together, introduces who the hell the pink-haired girl is, because she does not get introduced.
Oh god.
And then actually move on to the turtle stuff for decent. I think to be honest,
should have been an OVA
episode all itself.
There should have been an OVA.
Yes, there should have been. There should have been an OVA linking the seasons. And if there is, if we've missed it, please let us know. But I doubt there would be, because we'd be all over that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Let's move on.
Okay, so Naz, can you refresh the thing on the right?
Did you fix it?
Yeah.
Fixed it. Maybe. Yes.
I can't help it when your Discord, so your Dropbox decides to eat stuff. But anyway, right. So supporter questions. Rugal says, we're trying out the new Uno reversal like button. So please, everyone, hit that thumbs up button below, and you'll receive a like from us. It's true. To be fair, it is true. Do you have any recommendations for us to watch till next week?
No Game, No Life. Feel my pain. Share my pain.
There we go.
Also Spriggan. Xeno mentioned that one earlier.
I'm quite enjoying that, but I would actually recommend Deadman Wonderland over Spriggan.
I actually went back and watched the original Spriggan recently, and the plot's so-so, but the animation has got that really good classic style, so it looked amazing.
Fair. Loz, what would you recommend?
Spy Family.
Spy Family. If you haven't, for whatever reason, been watching Spy Family this season, go watch Spy Family.
I was watching yesterday's episode earlier today. Have you guys seen it?
No.
I haven't seen it yet.
I just caught up on Summertime Rendering, and
Right. Visionary Director says, in the modern world, there are many times that we encounter the entitled person. This has evolved into the meme of the Karen. A person who has mastered entitlement to near incomprehensible heights. We rarely see this type of person in anime without them being played for comedy value. Do you think that an actual serious take on having to deal with entitlement would have its place?
I think it would have to be in a slice of life anime like like Miss Kuroitsu, where like it would really affect her job and her mental health and whatnot, having to deal with this client.
I mean, if you think about it, right? Whenever you watch one of these like videos where you've got Karens on Spotlight, right? The only reason why you enjoy it is because it's so ludicrously funny.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that someone thinks that they are that incomprehensibly entitled.
It's like an angry funny, because you can't stand the person, but also they're motivated. What they're doing is so bizarre that you can't look away.
I mean, the alternative is just sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loz, do you have any comment on that?
The only other time I could think you find this sort of thing in like anime and other media is where you have somebody is entitled, and then an emergency situation happens, and they still think they're super entitled and important. And then normally they meet a tragic end through their own hubris of not realizing the situation that they're
or they
in,
learn a
because
lesson.
I can't think many of that. Normally they die. Normally they're able to die. And it's like, yeah, you know what? You really weren't important. You were focusing on not important things. And, the zombie ate your flesh. That sort of thing.
Lol, zombies.
All zombies.
So, Visionary Director also says, in this week's topic, we're talking about second series, whether a show deserves them or not. Given how much the cast has discussed Devilman Crybaby over the months, the cast, I mean, come on, let's be honest. Let's not tar them with the same brush you're tarring me. Given how much the cast has discussed Devilman Crybaby over the months, I feel it needs to be asked whether a second season would truly complete this epic tale, or whether it could simply ruin what it is. As well, as we all know, a cult classic. Okay, have either of you watched
No.
Devilman Crybaby?
I've only seen that one GIF, and that was enough for me.
Was that a no, Loz?
No.
Okay, right. So, at the end of the season, I don't give a fuck for spoilers. At the end of the season, the Earth is destroyed.
Okay.
How the fuck would you have a second season?
Well, if I remember correctly from one of the Notice Senpai episodes I edited, God could just remake it all and start over.
I hate you. Shut up. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Nasuth says, what do you call a French anime fan? A weeaboo.
You're welcome.
Oh dear.
I was not expecting that. That was just completely out of left field. Good job. Right. Okay, so comments.
Weeaboo.
Yep. Oui. Right. Comments from last week's episode. Strombus Voidshell says, looking forward to this episode because I do this with games when I play them.
I love listening to long form content when I'm playing games and stuff. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it's just really nice.
That's fair. I like listening to long form content while I'm doing my job.
Yep.
As long as I'm not in a billion meetings. Right, so Nick Evans says, Loz points out that that we're making our own cracker jokes. Fun fact, I actually do write cracker jokes. Every November, I am part of a small group of people that write and collates silly jokes, fun facts, air quotes fun facts, media questions, and so on, that are going to be included in the generic crackers for multiple English supermarket chains. I am under NDA, so I can't reveal which specific chains, but if you buy Christmas crackers from one of the large supermarket chains in England, such as Tesco's, Morrison's, Asda, Sainsbury's, or Waitrose,
Other supermarkets are available.
you have about a 3 in 5 chance to reading bad jokes that I have had a hand in curating.
Well, you may have had Nick Evans jokes pass through your hands.
Well, we've had them before with Thaylien, so you know.
That's very true.
Zrugel says, is the point of these pitches supposed to be guessing game, or is it to pitch cool ideas that would be cool as an anime? It was mostly the latter than
Bit
the
of
former.
both. Yeah, a bit of both.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be mostly the latter.
Yeah. And then Zrugel also says, very much agree with Loz's explanation of gatekeeping. I also think he did a very good job of explaining his point of view after I wrote that, but I wanted to leave that comment in anyway.
So that was from last... Yeah. He left it in last week's comment and then didn't, and then I included it and yeah. So yeah, he's just updating it to let us know.
Cool. Right, so now it's time for the memes for this week. If you want to see more memes, you can check out the Kanpai Cast Twitter account, which is going to be linked in the description below. And we release 3 memes a day, mostly sourced from many of the subreddits from, so like good animemes, wholesome animemes, anime memes, and memes. So yes, right. So let's do this.
Right. That's the wrong one. Let's go to hear this one. Ah.
Cool. Right. So your first one. What?
Vegeta food seasoning. It's over 9,000. I mean, apparently that's a real brand, but yeah.
That's just amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh my god. Okay.
Before JoJo.
Yep.
After JoJo.
Yep. Yeah. Very true.
Oh, all right. Remember this guy? This is him now. Feel old yet?
Oh my god.
This is from Spy Family, right? Yeah. Your best girl. No, Kurumi best girl. It's Hayasaka. And then this is actually a character. You guys won't get this. This is a character from Summertime Rendering. Don't judge me. She got big boob energy. All right.
I mean,
is she not? And that's it. She's not.
No. She can also. She's also incredibly tough. And is able to kill shadows with super efficiency. Amazing.
Why is she not a contender for best girl? That these all people frown at her.
Because nobody's watched it yet.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
No, stay with me! Chicky Bonbon!
Oh, that is brilliant. Oh, fuck, I didn't see this one. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, okay.
And finally, Army of Darkness. Is this an isekai? Maybe. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so, for my first one. My mother doing morning chores. Me ready to tell her I missed the bus. My second one. How to hold a count? Yes. No. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
My third one.
Oh my god.
You could pick only one. Choose wisely. A vampire girlfriend. She loves you. A lifetime supply of garlic bread. It never goes bad.
Garlic bread. 100%.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I gotta go with the vampire girl.
Yeah, but the vampire girlfriend
then you can never eat garlic bread.
Yeah, but you could live forever.
But you could never eat garlic bread again.
But you can live forever.
I understand what you're saying, Nasuth, and it would be hard. I imagine.
It'd be a massive sacrifice.
You've got to have a sacrifice for one of these things. I'd have to give it up.
I'm not sure I could do
vampire.
that.
No. Vampire.
I mean,
vampire girlfriend.
Bad either. I mean, God, that's just ridiculous.
Okay, me after giving Dora.
Constantly. This is important. Go back. Go back. Now, I assume it also stays perpetually warm as well. Like at just the right temperature. Like it wouldn't ever go hard because I like that garlic bread, right?
Yeah.
So you're actually thinking about it, gaining a perpetual energy source as well.
How so?
Well, because it's always going to be warm. It can never not be warm.
It completely violates the second law of thermodynamics. You know.
Well,
right.
But
eating it reverses entropy, or eating it reverses entropy inside your body, so you'll never die. eating the
Right.
life supply
no,
garlic bread.
no. I meant I've got a life supply in basically an infinite amount of garlic bread, right?
What have I
Like,
done?
Yeah, but it never goes bad. Now, to me, bad garlic bread would be cold and it starts going hard. You want it to be perfectly warm and soft. So, in theory, always got to stay like that. I can always get more garlic bread that's perfectly warm. Thus, I can always get energy excreting garlic bread because it's producing a small amount of energy at all times.
Here's a question for you.
Garlic bread with energy producing it. Thus, I've
Garlic bread batteries.
that could also make garlic bread batteries.
Right, but here's a question for you. If everyone chooses garlic bread, would that not destroy the Earth?
Yeah.
There you go. So I'm doing my part by choosing the vampire girlfriend. Moving on to number 4. Me after giving Dora the wrong directions. Which
Loz hasn't gotten to this part yet.
Loz isn't going to get this.
But
yes.
I looking at the background, isn't that the place where the infinite like trapped street?
Loz, all these streets.
Okay, so Loz apparently does get this. Moving on.
Loz, all these streets.
Right.
Jeez.
Okay. They are officers. They get no bitches.
Oh, that hurts. Xeno. That hurts on a deep personal level.
Hey, I'm here too.
Fair.
You know.
No, but we already knew that. You know.
But I got the vampire
It's
girlfriend.
new to
so,
me.
You know.
Oh god, that's true. Yeah.
No, you get that taken away from you now.
Nah. She's
No,
not a bitch. She's a vampire
one-
girlfriend.
One mean cancels out the other. No, you get nothing. Well, Nazza still has his garlic bread.
Yes.
No! Anyway, right. And then my last one. E-Girl doing absolutely nothing. Their Simps Army. Yep.
I don't mean it's sometimes it's important not to correct a meme, but I'm pretty sure that should be their simp army. I don't think simps works for that. Because
Yeah,
that'd be their simps
yeah.
army is in the army owned by the simps.
I believe that's correct.
I mean, army of simps, but regardless, it doesn't.
No.
I mean, they're simps. They're not going to be able to get that right anyway.
I think that polarization is wrong. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but I'm not a simp, so.
Yeah.
Unless it's from my vampire.
Oh
girlfriend.
no, we didn't
Anyway.
put the next weekend either. Falling down on the
Well, that's
job.
not my fault. That's not my fault.
I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I will, however, quickly double check that because we did actually schedule it in the calendars because we're good boys.
Yeah.
The next week's episode is the spring full season anime review. So
How could I forget that?
we'll be going over.
Will they all be done by then?
Not all of them, but I think the only stuff that won't be done is stuff we've dropped.
Summertime
So-
rendering won't be done, I don't think, but that's fine.
But that's 26 episodes anyway.
Oh, is
So,
it?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, I hope so. Oh, okay. Excellent.
But yeah, so there you go. That's next week, and yeah, we will see you all for next week's episode, won't we? So thank you very much for listening / watching, and now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!